Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm out here with my commander, Cobra Commander, and I'm trying to build up my reputation on the mission boards here. Now for those of you that don't know, this is essentially a new account. I've only got about 200,000 credits on it, I don't play it that often, and I'm still stuck in a Sidewinder. So my aim of course is to build up my reputation here so that I can earn some of the larger money. The mission board changes are one of the best features of the newest update, I feel. They're very good, although the missions are still the same. What happens is that it's much more guided, much more directed, because you can build up a working relationship with a faction much easier, and they're represented of course by the faces of the mission givers. Now naturally I'm a little bit limited with what types of missions I can accept with the Sidewinder here. It's got a very small cargo bay and isn't all that powerful. So I've gone ahead and taken two missions. One of them is to courier some data, and the other is to obtain some commodities for another station elsewhere. Even with these systems being a relatively small 30 to 40 light years apart, that does take a fair amount of time in a Sidewinder, and of course you have to bring a fuel scoop with you, and that's fairly small, so it takes a while to load up. And anyway, that's one mission delivered. It was actually a mission to deliver 2 units of cobalt rather than the data. I was incorrect there. And now I'm going to buy the other item here, which is some basic medicines that I need to go and courier to the other system. And we've got a little notification there telling me my mission objective is complete, but that's not to be mistaken with the mission itself being complete. I've still got to deliver these particular items. Of course, en route I got interdicted. And whilst it's quite likely you're going to get interdicted anyway nowadays when you're carrying cargo and whatnot, getting interdicted is certainly very much a part of these missions. Sometimes evading interdictions is very easy, other times it can be pretty difficult, but overall I've never had much of a problem with interdictions. But I do know that's not always the case, and some people do really struggle with this stuff, because after all it can be a little bit of a challenge at times to times. This one, like I say, I got out of very easy. So I put my course right back to the station again, only 150 light seconds away, but it was only going to be a matter of seconds before I was interdicted yet again. Getting ever closer to the station here, almost at the drop-off point now. I knew that sooner or later I was quite likely to be interdicted. It does often happen as you get right near your destination because you're slowing down so much. Immediately I could see that this interdiction wasn't going the same way as the previous one. You can see the little blue bar there on the right going up quite fast, so despite me hovering over the little vector escape area there, it was still proving a little bit difficult. So in the end I decided to submit, hoping that I could quickly recharge my FSD unit and boost right out of here. But the pirate come in hot, and he come in very aggressive and started attacking almost immediately. Within a very short space of time it managed to strip my shields away, as you'll see in a moment, and then immediately it started taking away my hull, and it seemed quite likely at this point that I really wasn't going to make it out of here. It's not really a significant loss at this point in the game, but it is a time consuming, it's a time investment that these pirates are essentially taken away from the player. With the FSD unit now charged back up again, I began preparations to get back into Super Goose. However, just look how fast it's stripping my hull away, down to 80% with just a few shots, and dropping rapidly. Now I guess I was rather fortunate that this wasn't one of the most powerful enemies. Unfortunately I didn't even decide to check the contacts to see what ship it actually was, but I'm guessing it's just a Sidewinder or something like that, because anything larger I would have been immediately annihilated at this point. Perhaps it would have been easier to just turn them forward, but at any rate I was soon out of there and heading back to the station again. Now missions are no longer gated by rank requirements. You can take any mission that has any rank requirement to it. It's gated by other requirements such as your reputation and your ship's ability basically. But once you do build up some reputation with these guys, you will get some good missions, and the higher your rank anyway, the better missions they will offer you, the higher value you'll be able to get. So for example here on this one you can see the mission rank is dealer, and it's got a reward of 144,000 credits. But I can't actually take that mission simply because my ship's cargo hold isn't large enough. It was at this point then that I noticed a rather serious problem. There was no option to hand this mission in, no way to complete it, and I couldn't really work out what was going on. This was the right station, It was the right character that I was talking to, but still the option to hand the item in just didn't appear. But it was then, when I checked the mission requirements again, that I noticed the reward. It included 4 units of reinforced mounting plates, and I just didn't have the room for that in my cargo hold. My ship's only capable of carrying 2 units of cargo after all. So, not wanting to waste too much time here travelling from station to station looking for some cargo racks, I jumped onto eddb.io and looked for the nearest station that held a 4-unit cargo rack. Just so happened that there was one in a station right nearby. Freeport, no less. One of the first stations I ever docked at within this game. In fact, one of the first stations to ever be included within the game. The problem I had here though with the Sidewinder is that in order to gain the additional cargo rack, I'd have to give up a unit that I didn't actually want to give up, and that was the planetary vehicle hangar. Here it was loaned, so if I sold it, I wasn't going to get any money for it, and when I buy another one, that was going to actually cost me at that point. But at any rate, I didn't really have the option, so I replaced it with the expanded cargo hold. Going back then to the mission station here, I was finally able to hand the mission in once I actually managed to land here. I really do feel that there's something to be said for starting a fresh game. It gives you a different outlook on the game, and it means that some of the lesser rewards that you might not accept with your massive wallet, that you do accept with a more lowly character. Unfortunately though, there's no way of creating an additional character, something that Frontier said might happen at one point, but unfortunately it never actually materialised. So here, in my case, it meant purchasing another account. There's a reason though that I called this guy Cobra Commander, and that's because I think the lowly ships are some of the best ships in the game. The Sidewinder is often underestimated, and the Cobra is actually my favourite ship. So this time out, I plan on sticking in that ship for a very long time. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.